Hello and welcome to the Explainer. Okay, let's just dive right in because today we're tackling a question that, let's be honest, is on almost everyone's mind at some point. What's my ideal weight and am I actually healthy?
So you probably think you know the answer to that, right? You've seen the charts at the doctor's office. But what if I told you that the standard measurement most of us have been using, well, it could be giving you a completely false sense of security? What if that number is just plain wrong for you?
Look, we all know everybody's different, right? But science, it likes a baseline. It's given us this one tool that's become the universal starting point for any conversation about weight. And you've definitely heard of it.
Yep, it's the good old BMI, the body mass index. The formula is pretty simple. Take your weight in kilograms, divide it by your height in meters squared. It spits out a single number that's supposed to tell you if you're underweight, normal, or overweight. Seems simple enough, right? Well, this is where it gets complicated.
Okay, so this is where things get really interesting and honestly, a lot more personal. Because that little number, that BMI, it is not nearly as universal as we've all been led to believe.
So let me just ask you this. What if the healthy number for one person is actually considered dangerously high for someone else, just because of where their ancestors are from?
I mean, just look at this. It's kind of shocking, right? For folks with European roots, a BMI of, say, 29 or 30 might still be in the clear. But for many Indian and other Asian populations, the ideal is way down at 21. A BMI of 22, you're already considered overweight. That is a huge difference. So what in the world is going on here?
Well, the secret isn't about how much fat you have. It's all about where your body decides to put it. And that one little detail, it changes everything. So it all boils down to this. There's dangerous fat, the stuff that hangs out deep in your belly, around your organs. We call that visceral fat. And then there's the safer fat, the subcutaneous kind that's just under your skin. The thing is, for a lot of people of Indian and Asian descent, fat tends to go straight to the belly. For many Europeans, it's more likely to be stored just under the skin. And that location makes all the difference. Right, so here's the really crucial part. That belly fat, it's not just lazy, it is metabolically active. It's almost like its own rogue organ, pumping out these nasty little things called adipocytokines straight into your blood. And those are the bad guys that directly cause all sorts of problems. Diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, even if you've only gained a little bit of weight. The fat on your shoulders, totally different story. It's pretty chill, mostly inactive, and way, way less dangerous.
So you see the problem, right? The BMI number can't tell you where your fat is hiding. That's why we need another tool. And guess what? It's super simple. All you need is a measuring tape.
And here are the magic numbers to keep in mind. For women, if your waist is over 80 centimeters, that's about 31 inches, you're in the risk zone. For men, that number is 90 centimeters, or around 35 inches. Honestly, this measurement can tell you way more about your actual health risk than your BMI ever could. But wait, we're not done. There's one more rule, and this one might just be the most important of them all. Okay, let's get into what might be the biggest game changer of this whole explainer. It's an idea that completely flips a really common belief on its head. You know, the one that says it's totally normal to pack on the pounds as you get older. Well, according to this perspective, that's a really dangerous myth. Just let this sink in for a second. Forget the charts, forget the averages. I want you to think back. What was your weight when you were, say, 18 to 20 years old? Because the argument here is that that number, that's your true, personal, ideal weight for the rest of your life. And the logic behind this is actually super simple, but really powerful. See, by the time you hit your early 20s, you're not getting any taller, right? Your bones are done growing. So from that point on, any major weight you gain, well, it's pretty much all fat or muscle. And that's why this next number is so incredibly critical. And here it is. This is the big one, the key takeaway. You basically get a lifetime allowance of about 5 kilograms. That's roughly 11 pounds over whatever you weighed when you were 20. Anything more than that, even if your BMI chart says you're normal, that's considered the start of obesity and all the health risks that come with it. Okay, let's make this real. Imagine a woman who weighed 45 kilos, about 99 pounds, when she was 20.
Fast forward 10 years, now she's 30 and weighs 60 kilos, or 132 pounds. Now, if she checks her BMI, it might still say she's in the normal range. But if we use this 5-kilo rule, she's gained 15 kilos. That is 3 times the limit. So from this point of view, she's now dealing with the risks of obesity.
So what's the big picture here? What does all this mean for us? It means we really have to shift how we think about this stuff. Maintaining a healthy weight isn't about chasing some generic number on a chart. It's a super personal, lifelong job of staying close to our own ideal baseline.
And the final word from the material we're looking at today is, well, it's pretty blunt. The argument is that we shouldn't just accept that we're going to gain weight as we age. The goal should be to stay lean, to stay close to that youthful weight. And if you've drifted away from it, the goal is to work your way back.
So I'll leave you with this thought to chew on. It's time to look past that one single number on a chart. It's time to think about the whole picture, your ancestry, your waistline, and your own personal history. So the real question is, are you measuring your health the right way? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.